Hello, students. Welcome to EduRev. Have you ever wondered why a simple poem can ask us to see the whole world as one family? Today, we'll explore a stirring poem that tells us no people are strange and no countries foreign. And we learn what that means for you and your classmates. This poem walks through small everyday images: hands, harvests, eyes, and air, to show our shared humanity in a clear, moving way. By the end, you will understand the poem's central message, its key images, and how it persuades us toward empathy. The poem opens with a gentle reminder: beneath uniforms and national labels, there is one breathing human body familiar to us all. The poet asks us to remember that the land we walk on and the land others walk upon are the same kind of earth. That first image reduces distance and foreignness into something immediate and easy to imagine. In the next stanza, the poet points to common life: sun, air, water, harvests that sustains people everywhere. He contrasts peaceful harvests with the winter of war to show that both plenty and suffering are human experiences across the globe. Our hands, the poem tells us, carry the same traces of labor and care, no matter where they live and work. When we read the lines on another person's hands, we can read our own efforts reflected back at us. The poem goes on to remind us that others have eyes that wake and sleep like ours, and a strength that can be built by love. That simple comparison narrows the gap between us and them and asks us to practice empathy as an ordinary choice. Then the poet issues a warning: when we are urged to hate our brothers, it is ourselves we ultimately harm. Hatred, he suggests, steals compassion, betrays our shared life, and leaves everyone more damaged and lonely. Taking up arms against each other does not only hurt the other, it defiles the human earth we all share. The closing lines return to air, innocence, and the common soil, insisting these belong to everyone and to no single nation. That return gives the poem a moral center. Division wounds our shared home and our shared humanity. The core insight is simple but powerful. Human experience is universal, and seeing that unity is the first step toward peace. For a high school reader, this means looking beyond labels and learning to notice how ordinary lives connect us. Empathy here is presented not as abstract sentiment but as a habit formed by paying attention to everyday details. When we refuse prejudice and act with compassion, we protect both others and ourselves from the costs of hatred. If you look closely, you can see how the poet uses concrete images and repetition to make the idea stick in our minds. Theme words to remember are universality, brotherhood, tolerance, and the destructive power of division and prejudice. The poet's tools are simple: vivid sensory images, parallel structure, and a steady moral voice that reads like a plea. Repeated images: hands, harvests, eyes, air, create a pattern that makes the poem's argument feel inevitable and true. Contrast is another technique. The poem pairs peace with war, sameness with the illusion of foreignness to sharpen its point. These devices make the poem feel both intimate and universal, so the moral resonates in everyday terms. Some difficult words you may meet are dispossess, defile, and outrage, each naming different ways harm is done. Dispossess means to take something important away. Defile means to spoil or pollute, and outrage expresses deep shock or anger. When you read the poem aloud, let each image breathe. Pause after lines to feel the scenes the poet sketches. In essays or discussions, use lines about hands, harvests, eyes, and air as concrete proof of the poem's claims. The practical takeaway for you is this: look first for what connects you to others. Then notice what divides you. Thinking critically about how language makes moral arguments will help you write stronger responses and understand the poem's emotional force. To recap briefly, the poem tells us no person is foreign and everyday life shows our shared humanity. It argues that hatred and division harm everyone, and that recognizing our common life is the path toward empathy and peace. Thank you for listening with an open heart and a curious mind as we explored these ideas together. If this reading moved you, try rereading the poem while underlining the images that feel most immediate to you.